share this. Can I share my screen so that you just,
yeah.
I will just tell you, you just tell me the command within 2-3 minutes, it will be over actually.
Sure.
Yeah. Back Haris.
Hey Rahul.
Hi, back.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm making Santosh as the host, right? So he will show his screen and then we'll fix the issue.
My internet connection got lost, so I couldn't.
Yeah, no problem. I have made you host.
No problem.
I have made you host. Just try to share your screen.
Okay. Yeah. 1 minute. 1 second. 1 second. I'm sharing my screen.
Sure.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, it's coming up. It says Santosh. Yeah.
Now actually I got connected up to root actually. After that my connection got lost. So you gave some commands, yum install something.
Yeah. Just do yum install.
1 second. Yum install.
HTTPD. Others you can just revise the concept, right?
HTTPD.
Yeah, HTTPD. Correct.
Enter.
Yeah.
I have done that.
Okay.
After that.
Say why.
Yes.
Enter.
Yeah.
Okay, so the package has been installed for the HTTP. Now you do systemctl. No, same word, only one word. Systemctl. CTL.
Systemctl.
Yeah, systemctl space start space HTTPD. Enter. Yeah. Okay, now you just do up arrow.
Okay.
Yeah, now go with the left arrow, you go near T, start T, that T of start. Yeah, now with backspace, no. Backspace, you remove R and T. Yeah, now you make it status, STATUS. Enter. See, the service is running, right?
Yeah.
Now this particular service should be accessible from the public network, from the internet, if you have given the right permission in the security group, right? Have you added the security group rule? No, right?
Security group rule, whatever, actually I didn't do any changes, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so which port do you want to allow now? Which port you need to allow?
80 port is
yeah, you just see the active running. Below that, what is written on your screen?
Active listening on port 80, it is written something.
Correct. So it's listening Apache HTTP is listening on port number 80. So port number 80 should be allowed. Go to your instance.
Okay, 1 minute.
EC2 dashboard.
1 minute.
You can close this. Yeah. So you go to the instance, right here. Click on instance. Yeah. Now you go to security tab, the second tab. Yeah. Security tab. Yeah. Click on that.
And then
click on security group.
Click on.
Go below.
Security group.
Go above.
Okay. Security group.
See, you're browsing too fast, so it's not visible to me. Yeah, screen is good. Yeah. So you have that.
Is it okay?
Yeah. So now you click on edit. Edit the inbound rule. Now here you have to add a rule for port number. Which one?
80.
Yeah. Click on add rule. Choose what?
SSH.
No, SSH you have already done. Now
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you are trying?
Uh,
HTTP.
HTTP. Okay.
Type HTTP or search for it. Yeah,
S-
you got it. You got
80.
it. You allow everyone,
1 minute.
so you'll have any option anywhere. Yeah, allow that website to be accessed by anybody. Go down, click on save rules. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Now it should be, you should be able to browse the public IP of your EC2 instance. Go to the EC2 instances, go back one step,
Yeah.
select the public IP here, the second pan below. Yeah,
1 minute. Go to details, right? 1 second.
no need to go anywhere. Go to, yeah, go to details, correct. Go to details, sorry. Public IP address,
Copy.
yeah, copy it.
You copied.
Yeah, and then you can access it
Okay.
from your
So after
browser.
from the browser. So
Yeah,
in the browser, I go to 1 second. I go
you
to
can
browser.
put the DNS IP or you can put that
1 second.
DNS name also. So simply go to new tab, you paste it.
I have gone to browser and
Paste it.
1 second.
Double click,
Yeah.
paste
1
it.
minute. Yeah, I have pasted it.
Enter.
1 second. 1 second. It's come. It will come. One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you press enter?
Yeah. I press the enter.
Press one more time.
Yeah. It is.
It came.
Yeah. It came. Yeah.
Yeah, bit slow, but it came. Yeah.
Yeah. My
No
system is
problem.
very slow. Yeah.
No problem. So you this is perfect. So this page you have got. Now you go to the machine one more time, putty session, and then you just edit that file.
1 minute.
You have the content of the file.
I have to go to again this one instances.
No. You have to go to the that black and white screen.
Okay, this one.
Putty session.
Putty. Yeah.
Just press Q.
Okay, Q.
Yeah. So you are on the command line.
Yeah.
Here you just do do CD first. CD to var www.html. Var /var.
CD.
Remove that, whatever you have typed after CD. Slash.
Yeah.
var directory.
Okay, where directory. Okay,
Where?
CD/var. Yeah.
Where now you have to CD to www. CD www. No W / HTML. Enter. Okay. PWD you do. So nothing is there in this, right?
Yeah.
The current your present working directory is what? Where www HTML, right? Here you will now Rahul will guide you.
Rahul.
Haris, I have also not done that commanding part.
You have
That's
not.
what no. Output I didn't get. I actually supposed to ask you that time. So actually, I also not got.
Shweta will guide you.
Actually, I'm watching very carefully what you suggested him because I was also don't want to do in the back end. So yes, immediately you asked me, Rahul will guide you. I got it back end.
Okay. Shweta, who wants to guide?
I can guide Pradatta.
Pradatta, yeah, please. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, it is Rahul, right?
Pradatta will guide.
Santosh and Rahul both.
Yeah, Santosh. Yeah.
Santosh, first open that index.html that Haris sir shared last time. And copy the content.
1 minute. I have to check index.html.
For data connection name and then auth, then again attach all these things. Then
so that means you are not saving the content.
I have already saved it. That I have given the name as RHEL and clicked on save.
Then you don't have to load everything. You just have to change the IP. That's it.
That's what. But I don't say but I don't know why it's getting when it's getting inactive, it's getting lost all the things, whatever entries I have done. So again,
no,
I
no.
have to put all the things.
That should not go actually. So you are not saving properly. So after the session, I'll just guide you how to save it. Okay. So for now, just tell me. So you connected to the instance.
I have connected to the instance. Instance is open for me and it's in running condition. No problem with that.
Good. Now, did you change the index.html content? Just change
that
it.
I was actually I need that command again.
Just go and put your name there in that VI. Just do CD where www.html.
Okay. Index.html.
VI index.html.
Okay.
There you just do I.
Go back. I have to quit this one first. Just a minute, Haris.
Yeah. Just do a shortcut. Just do like this. I'll tell you. See, you are there in this directory, right? Just tell me if you are there in this directory.
EWD. Actually, I went inside this one. VI index.html I have done. I want to go back.
Okay. Okay. So you are there, right? VI index.html you have done, right? Now,
okay.
Just do like this. Come out of that file.
Trying again. Again the connection got lost. I think I have to do again all these things.
Okay.
It's happening again and again. Again I have to give EC2 user, then click on logs and save. Then again
Wait 1 second. Let me make you host. Wait. Give me a moment. Rahul, 1 minute. Now you are the host. You can share your screen.
Yes. Sure, I'm doing that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if it comes.
Can you see my screen, Haris, now?
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, it came.
See,
Perfect.
So what I have done now, I have
Wait 1 second. Go to session. First you go to session. Okay. Select RHEL.
Yeah.
Click on load.
Yeah.
Now wait. Now you go to SSH.
Okay. SSH.
Expand that. Go to auth. Expand auth. Click on auth. Now click on browse.
Yeah.
Select that.
Yeah, done.
Just don't do anything extra, but just be slow. Go to window.
Window. Where is that? Window.
There only, it was near your mouse only.
Data?
Above. Window. Above your mouse.
Hello?
Just above your mouse. Colors, selection.
Yeah, window is there.
Yeah, click.
Yes.
Click on window.
Selection.
Click on window.
Okay.
Now that 2000 you see, right? Make it, delete it.
Okay.
Make it 5 times 9 you put.
Done.
Okay. So those many lines you can scroll. Now you go to data.
All right. Username I have given here.
Okay. Now wait. Now you go click on appearance in the window section. Appearance.
Okay.
Click on change.
Okay.
Now you click on that font size. Make it 14.
Yeah. Done.
Okay. Wait 1 second. Now you click on colors in the window section. Click on use system colors.
This one.
Now go to session.
Session again. Yeah.
Wait. Don't do anything. Click on save.
I'm not doing. Yeah.
Save.
Yeah. Done. Save.
Okay. Now you go and take the IP address.
IP address I have already with me. Yeah.
Now wait.
Okay. Sorry.
No problem. Exit.
I think.
Exit. Now again open putty.
Yeah.
Put the wait 1 second. Don't put anything. Now you click on RHEL.
Okay.
Click on load.
Done.
Put the IP address.
Done.
Click on save.
Save. Done.
Now click on open.
Okay.
See, now
Fine.
your screen is white, correct?
Right. Many things are changed, colors and all these things.
Now you exit.
Okay.
Double
Done.
click, putty.
Okay.
Click on
IP.
data.
Data.
First you load it. First you load. First thing you have to do is load. No,
Okay.
not like that. Select, then load. Now go
By
to
default
data.
it's come. Okay.
Okay.
Easy to use.
Now you just show me other options. Go to SSH. Click on SSH.
Okay.
Expand that. Yeah. Click on auth.
Okay.
Go below little. Go. Okay, nothing is there. Okay. You go
That much.
to SSH. You select SSH.
All right.
Select that SSH. Okay. Yeah. Correct. Now you be there. Wait. You have remote command written, no? Don't click
Remote.
anything.
No,
Go to
I'm not
the
doing
top.
anything. Yeah. Remote
Type
command.
there,
Correct.
sudo
Sudo.
su
Okay. Hyphen.
dash. Yeah. Now you go up, scroll bar,
Okay.
click on session.
Yeah.
Don't do
Save.
anything. Click on save. Yeah. Save.
Done.
Now you click on open.
Okay.
See
Thank
how
you so
life
much,
is
Haris.
easy for you, right?
Yeah. Actually,
Now
you are
exit.
like guiding very much things because it's exit.
Yeah.
Done.
Now you double click.
Yeah. It's really fantastic.
Load that RHL for RHL.
First I have to
Load.
select and load. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. And then
Okay. Thank you.
you open it.
Open. Yeah. Thank you so much, Haris. Thank you so much.
Good, right?
Yeah, very much exciting. Really. Thank you so much.
Now you just go to add HTML.
Yeah. I'll do cd space where
Santosh, you can guide.
www.html. Yeah. Then I have to go vi index. Right, Haris? Dot html. I think some attention I got it.
Actually, the file got crashed. No, that's why it is telling like that. So it doesn't matter. Now you just press enter.
Then
Okay. So
I
press
went
I.
inside.
Escape insert.
I. Now you just mention here something, whatever you wish.
Okay.
Just put your name. Yeah. My website.
My name. That's it.
No, just put your name on, Yeah, okay.
My name is Rahul.
Okay, save it. Escape : WQ.
Escape :
WQ.
WQ.
Enter. Yeah. Now you just show me the service. System CTL.
System SYSTEMCTL.
Space. Status.
Okay. Status.
Yeah.
TUS. Status.
What? Which status? Which service?
HTTPD.
Put it.
HTTPD.
Running, right? Take the public IP or DNS name and just put it in the browser.
IP.
Go to the console.
Okay.
Go to the console. Take the public IP.
Right.
Yeah.
Step in.
Put it somewhere.
I'm doing that. It was the previous one, which is the by default. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Haris. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So everyone done, right?
Thank you so much, Haris.
No problem. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Perfect. So now that we are done with
Okay, you made host yourself?
Yeah, I'm already host now. Okay, I'm sharing my screen also. Just see if it's visible to you.
Yeah, Haris, it's visible to me.
Okay, perfect. So this is how we have made our system. We have installed something and now this is useful to us, right? So now the problem here, what we can face, Shweta, you're there, right?
She is available.
Not confirming, yeah.
She is there, but I don't know. She is in mute.
So just pay attention here. Pradatta, you're there? Pradatta? Correct, no?
Yes, yes, I'm there. I'm there.
Okay. Santosh?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So please just see here. When we have this running instance, we have this EC2 instance running here. We also have with that one volume which is associated to that particular system. You just see it's refreshing, the page is refreshing. So please let me know if it is visible. So I clicked on that EBS and on the volumes. You see this volume, correct?
Yeah. Yes, Harish.
So I see this volume, the size of this volume is 10 GB, right? Its name is Red Hat-Linux. Its type is GP2. Some IOPS is there, IO per second, 100 IO per second it is supporting. Some snapshot, something mentioned here, some snapshot. You see, some snapshot number is mentioned. Created September 27th. When did we create?
Last week, Sunday.
Okay. So in the same region where we have our EC2 instance, in the same particular zone where our EC2 is running, and it says in use, right?
Yeah.
Attachment information is also there. You see some attachment information is there. It says it is attached to Dev SDA, attached to Red Hat Linux machine, right? As Dev SDA1. You see this?
That is, we have installed in this particular drive, right?
So this one
Dev
particular volume looks like the root volume of our system. So if I say fdisk-l, that is the command to see all my disk drives.
Drive, yeah.
So it says dev xvda. Okay, so whatever it is telling here as dev sda1, that is in our Linux machine visible as dev xvda. Now in that dev xvda, we have dev xvda1 and dev xvda2, two partitions, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, if you see here, and this says this is attached. So this particular disk is attached to the instance. This can also be detached, but as of now, this is our machine is running, right? So in running machine, you cannot take out the hard disk. That also the same boot device from which it has booted, right? That is containing operating system. So if that system is down, can we take out the hard disk? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can take out the hard disk also. So now this is a volume, it shows the volume, and especially what I want you to focus is, you see this Dev SDA1 here, it is showing AP South 1B.
Correct.
Just have
Availability
to
zone.
focus there and think, just pause for a while and think that if there is a problem, right, in availability zone AP South 1B, what will happen to our instance?
We are able to run.
See, this particular device where we have our storage, if that device has some issue, we have the redundancy there in the same availability zone. We have another, the same device is getting replicated, right, in couple of other devices. So if this particular device crashes, doesn't matter. Our volume will be accessible. This particular volume, 10 GB volume, but
from other zone
happens to the availability zone, say like some fire in the data center, some flood, some earthquake, some situation, something happens in that availability zone, because this is just a data center cluster. This is not the entire region also. This is just availability, particular 1B, not 1A, 1C. It's not replicated. So how we saw like S3, our data was replicated across multiple availability
regions,
multiple availability zones, not regions.
Yes.
Now here, this is in only one availability zone. So if our data is crucial, we have installed that Apache, right?
Yeah.
And we may have some other volume where we may put some other information, some variables, right? So if availability zone crashes completely, it becomes offline, our volume, our data will not be accessible. It will not be available to us, right? Correct?
Yes.
Hello. So
Yeah, yeah, getting.
our system will be down, right? Now what is the solution?
So we can.
One question before you move.
Yeah.
That EBS volume by default, whenever we create an EBS volume, by default gets attached to the EC2, is it?
See, because you are copying from the AMI, right? We selected one Red Hat AMI.
Correct, correct.
That
correct.
Red Hat AMI had an option of root volume, right? So AMI will have one root volume at least. So that AMI will be looking at, right? After this snapshot, we'll be looking at AMI, right? So AMI will have at least one root volume in which operating system will be there. So while if you just try to launch another instance, you will see that. So first
EBS
thing
is normally in the AMIs, it's always EBS that gets attached.
correct, because AMI is something for installation of an operating system. For launching an instance, we require a VM, and VM requires one particular EBS volume in which the OS will be installed, and that will be attached to the instance, right? So now that is a basic thing where we should have at least one hard disk associated with our virtual machine, right? So that one particular volume is the root volume. That is called root volume. That is the bootable disk. So this 10 GB of volume is the minimum thing that one operating system, one instance should have, right? So with that only it will boot all those operating system, all those whatever installation we are doing, everything will go in that. Apart from
EBS
this,
is like a local hard disk to the
you got
VM,
it,
right? So
yes.
this is not shareable. I mean, can we also share the EBS volumes by any?
See, EBS volume is for your instance to use, right? It's not accessible by, other machine or something. See, if you want to share a particular partition of that EBS volume, you have to create a file system. You have to implement NFS. You have to export the file system. Then you have to try to make it shareable across other instances. So that is possible, but you have to do a lot of effort. You have to install that NFS package. You have to make NFS server running. How we have done Apache server, like that. You have to do all those efforts. You can do it. However, by default, this EBS volume is for only one instance. So this EBS volume will get attached at one time. It will be attached to one instance, right? It cannot be attached to even two instances. Got it?
Got it. And similarly, for S3 also, it's the same similar kind of concept. It has to be. Sorry, I mean, I'm going
S3.
back. S3 we share, right? That bucket we create.
S3 is like, it can be accessed by anybody anytime. It's a kind of commonplace.
Commonplace, right? It is a file like
It
EFS.
doesn't
It is
require
like
to be attached to anything. It's independent, no? See, S3 is independent. S3 is a object storage which is independent. Just Google Drive. You think of S3, think of Google Drive. That's it. Okay, so S3 is object storage. Now we'll come back. We'll come back to storage.
No,
one
why
more
I'm
time.
asking is when we delete a VM or terminate a VM, this volume has to be either we check it that it automatically gets terminated, or we will have to
Yes.
manually go and do it. However, this is for
Yes.
EFS, any file system that this was sharing. Obviously, it's not concerned to that EC2, but S3 may have some file which was actually associated with this EC2 only. So
S3 can have anything. S3 can have any type of thing and can be accessed by anybody, by any instance, by any person, by anything, right? Directly say like S3, we have independent of EC2 instance. We launched one website, right, on S3. Remember? Was there any server running in that? No, right? Without any server, simply we put some file and it became accessible from the browser, correct? So S3 is independent of everything, but at the same time, if you want EC2 instance to go and access your S3, that is also possible. We had created one role where we had allowed S3, we had allowed EC2 to access the content of the S3, right? So we'll come back one more time to storage. So not an issue. Now, here what I want to convey is our EBS volume is existing in only one availability zone, right? Now, what I told was, if one particular device fails, right, storage is still available to us, because by default there is redundancy at the availability zone level, right, for the failure of the particular storage device. We have redundancy there. But if the availability zone becomes offline, in that condition, what will happen? Our data will be gone. Now, who can help us? Snapshots. Something happens to our instance, right? Something happens to our volume, right? Whether this is a root volume or any other volume. If something happens to that, what to do? We will take a snapshot, right? Understood? To mitigate any situation, any condition where our volume might go, right? We will create some snapshot. Even if by mistake, if you delete this particular volume, and if you have a snapshot, you can recover from there, right? So that's what is the next topic, right? So so we have done that connection to RHEL instance using PuTTY. Now host your website inside EC2, and now the very next topic is the same thing that we have seen, the volume and the challenges with the volume, right? So what is snapshot? So snapshot is point in time copy, point in time backup of the EBS volume. What is good about it? It is stored in S3, and you know that S3 will have 11 nines of durability, right? So if it is kept in S3, I don't have to tell you that S3 is fully managed by AWS. S3 will be keeping data in minimum of 3 availability zone. You have 11 nines of durability. You have this benefit, that benefit. Your data is safe. Your data is secure. So your EBS snapshot is going and sitting in S3, right? So you have peace of mind, right? And now, additionally, what can happen? You can copy whatever snapshot we are creating, that can be copied to another region also. So I can show you. So if you have no issues in copying it to another region, the same data, you can copy it as well. If you want more redundancy and better, say like if entire region is not there, if such situation is there, then you can do that as well, right? So
But sir, in that case, can we not have, in a different subnet with a different, availability, with a different region, we can get a connectivity to snapshot. So even one region gets down from that, we
no,
can actually connect to the same S3 without having a snapshot. I mean, the replication done.
see. Totally confused. You used a lot of terms. One was subnet, one was region, one was availability zone, and one was connect to S3, right? But what you have to understand is this snapshot, right, is stored in S3, but you are not having access, like you are going and like how you have an object or something in S3, you are accessing from entire world. That it's not like that. It's stored in S3, that I'm telling to you. That's it. It's not like you have the access and you have the control to go and do something with that S3 bucket or something. That is not like that. It's like it is stored. It is, as I told you, this is fully managed, right? So this is, you don't have to do anything there. You cannot access the same thing from another region or something until and unless you copy it. Got it? So I'll show you all these options and how much you can see. We will do a practical and I'll show you. Okay. So subnet, I'll tell you what is subnet in the VPC. Okay. So now you understand that unless and until you copy the snapshot to another region, it is of no use to you. And how you copy and where it will be visible, that I will show you. Okay, so now you understand that this is an incremental backup. What it is? It's an incremental backup. So what do you understand by incremental backup? Who can tell?
Incremental means it will keep on adding.
Yeah,
There
correct.
will be full backup and incremental backup. So
Yes. So when the very first time you are trying to copy, take a snapshot, what will happen? The entire snapshot, the entire volume will be copied. Got it? For the very first time, when you take a snapshot, just pay your attention, otherwise you will miss it. Whenever you are trying to take the very first snapshot, the entire volume, right? Say like 10 GB, the entire 10 GB will be copied. Okay. Now, you modified only 1 GB now, right? What will happen? That 1 GB will be copied in the very next incremental backup. Got it? So, what will be the size of your actual backup?
11 GB.
10,
11 GB.
Whatever has
10.
modified, only that has been copied, and whatever is the 10 GB thing, right, that was copied, right? So 9 GB data will remain, the 1 GB will be changed, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you are doing, whatever incremental thing you are doing, right? So every time if you are making changes, if you are increasing, see like additional 2 GB if you are doing, then it will become 12 GB, right? But if you are modifying, right? So what will happen? It will contain
It will
the
decrease.
same data. It will take the same size.
Yeah.
And you
It will
know
become
how?
8 then.
Yeah. So whenever you are copying things, the only the additional things will be copied, not the entire things, and only the latest, whatever snapshot you are having, that you are keeping, that will be referencing to the previous data blocks. So you know how block storage works, right? So exactly the same thing, your blocks will be there in your system also. Say like your machine, when you cut, see, just I'll show you one example and then you will relate it. I have one file here, right? Here I have a file, say like tools directory. If I copy it, right, and then try to paste in another pen drive or something, it will take time, right?
Yeah.
If I copy it and try to paste in another hard disk drive of the same machine, it will take time, right? But if I simply do a cut, and I come here, I do paste, did it take time?
No.
No.
It has so many things. Did it take time?
No. No.
Simply it happened. You see, cut. And then I just went here, I did paste. It came here, right? What is happening? Do you think something is moving in the hard disk? Do you think so?
No. It's changing the location only.
Nothing is changing in the hard
Nothing
disk.
is happening. Yeah.
See, only the reference.
Means it's
Only the reference, right, changes. The location of the physical data, whatever the physical location of the data is there, that remains there only. The reference changes, that this particular directory, right,
Doesn't
was
change, yeah.
attached to this one. Now this will get attached to desktop. That's it. The data remains there only. Exactly in the same manner, block devices work. Right. So what will happen? Whatever is the data, that data will be there only. And the remaining things, whatever changed, for that some other blocks, new files will be stored. Right. So what we can do with EBS snapshots from the volume, we'll take a snapshot. Right. So we'll take a snapshot, and then whenever there is any issue, right, with our volume, right, we can, what we can do, we can create a volume out of that snapshot. So whatever was there in the volume, we have taken a snapshot, right? This snapshot, right, we can automate it, right, and it will be creating a snapshot periodically. whatever is the changes in the data, whatever additional data, everything will be stored. And then whenever there is an issue, our volume got deleted, our volume got some issue, right? What will happen? We can recover from there. Okay. So we'll just create a snapshot and see how it works. Will be, you'll have more clarity. So just go to EC2 that dashboard.
Sir, might be a
Yeah.
foolish question, but I'm just
No,
asking.
please. Yeah.
With
tell me.
operating systems, the storage, that when we talk about the storage, is there any there are some inbuilt storage, and there are some the storage like these volumes, or EFS, or all the things that are attached to it. So with in the cloud, when we talk about OS, it's is this the only storage thing that we need to take care in terms of storage optimization and all, or there are other storages as well with EC2?
Shweta, you please focus on whatever I am discussing as of now with you, right? Please be focused, right? And I'll show you the storage, right? Whatever from the EC2 point of view, and I have already shown in past as well, right? If I just go back to the previous slides, right? So
EBS, EFS, and that I'm clear, sir. But
no.
You're telling me.
You see here the previous screen. That's why I showed you earlier.
Yes, I have seen that.
No, you have not seen. You are missing something.
सुबह भी पढ़ी हो, लेकिन I'm just talking about snapshot. I'm talking about when we talk about snapshot, does it take only the volume snap attached to an EC2, or it takes the entire, is there any other storage that is also taken in the snapshot? Snapshot is like taking a backup, right?
Yeah. Just see here. You have one more storage. You talked about EC2, right? You told that there is EC2. Only EBS is there related to the instance. You have instance store as well, right? Did we?
There is ephemeral here. Yeah.
So your question was, is there only EBS associated with EC2 directly? No. The answer is, apart from EBS, you have instance store as well. Correct? Now, your question, whatever question you ask, the direct answer is that. Now, what you want to know is whether we have option for snapshot or not, EBS snapshot. That we are already discussing, right? So snapshot we are about to discuss, we are about to create. So this snapshot, right, is what? Is it a storage where you are directly working?
No.
But you see here, it is mentioned in EBS, under EBS snapshot is mentioned, right? Correct, no? So you are trying to refer somewhere where you might see that under the AWS storage, you might have some information written as snapshot also. So you are getting confused with that.
I'm not actually putting my question correctly. My ask is, when we take a snapshot in terms of EC2 terminology, that we have taken an EC2 snapshot we take. So does that mean it is the volume snapshot that gets taken?
We are taking, as of now, we are taking volume snapshot, right? Once you learn this, right, then whatever snapshot is possible and whatever another aspects are there, that we will look at. Let's take this snapshot and then we'll see.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So see, when we are discussing on a particular point, right? So if you focus and understand that point, then additional points you can ask and you can try to relate. You will have more information on that, right? So just finish this part. EBS snapshot, we are talking specifically EBS snapshot. We are not doing snapshot for instance store. We are not doing anything else. We are taking snapshot of one particular EBS volume, that is called EBS snapshot, right? Now we are going to create one EBS snapshot. How we can create that EBS snapshot? We have this particular volume, right? This volume is selected. We go to action menu, right? We have option create snapshot. I clicked on create snapshot. I can put a description. I just say like snap 1 and I just add a tag, right? I say name and I say snap 1 and I say create. It's as simple as that, right? And I go to snapshots. I have this particular snapshot getting created. Now, you just understand that snapshot, right, is point in time backup, point in time copy of a volume. That is only snapshot. So just put it in your mind, right, very clearly. Snapshot is just point in time backup of a particular volume. Here in this particular case, in this particular example that we are doing is, we are taking one EBS volume, we are making a snapshot out of it, right? Right now, once this snapshot, all of you just want to try to create the snapshot for that root volume that you are having, or you just want to see and it should be okay? You can
create.
you
We can create no issue. Yes, we just want to see once. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll
so just
create
see
it.
once. This is 10 GB. It may take some time. So just see once how we create. It was just simple. Now we will create this additional volume, 1 GB volume or something. So with that we will create. So it will be quick. So that time you can create. Okay. So this is taking some time, right? So okay. So this is taking some time. In the volume section, I'll just show you, just you can do how you can do hands-on. So I'll show you for that. What you do, you just create a volume. Click on create volume, all of you.
Can you please go back, Haris, once back again?
In the volume section, that's it. See, in the volume section,
Okay.
you click on create volume.
Create volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
done.
Here size is 100 GB. So by default it came GP2. Now size you make it 1 GB.
Okay.
Now you go to, see, leave everything as it is. Availability zone. What is my availability zone of my machine?
AP South Mumbai.
1A, 1B.
Right.
That is important.
Okay.
See, that's what we discussed. Volume, EBS volumes are properties of availability zones. Right now, this, if you choose another one, will your instance be able to access it? Yes or no? If I create it in 1A, can my instance access it?
We have to keep it the default one.
We have to keep the one in which our instance is running, right?
Yes.
Then only I can attach it to my instance. Correct? Now, just all of you do, please do this one. Just create 1 GB volume, right? EBS volume, right? Click on availability zone. Choose the right, availability zone. If you are not sure, right? So click on this, right click, open in a new tab, go to EC2.
You are in 1A.
Go to your running instances. Here you just see where it is, AP South 1B. So mine is AP South 1B. I have to create this volume in AP South 1B, then only my instance can access it. This is what I have to understand. So EBS volume will be limited to that particular availability zone. Now you have this particular name, and I'll just say this as 1G hyphen Linux. I just say that 1G hyphen Linux, 1G volume this is, and
Yes.
yeah.
My availability zone is showing AP South 1B. So should I select 1A?
Yours is showing 1A?
No, it's 1B for me by default.
Your this particular instance?
Yeah, that instance which we have created for Linux, my availability zone is AP hyphen South 1B.
1B, right?
Yeah.
If it is 1B, and then if you create your EBS volume in 1A, how will your instance access that volume?
That's why I just want to confirm you.
So you
put
have to
1B on it.
create your volume. See, just understand that your hard disk is in Bangalore and your server is running in Delhi. Is it possible? Your hard disk, the root volume,
Okay.
or any hard disk, you have kept it in Bangalore and your system is in Delhi. How will you run that system? You
No,
need to attach your system, your hard disk to your system, right?
Yeah, locally we
So
can.
that SAN, how it works, just think like that. So it should be in the same data center, right? So
Yeah.
either your hard disk should be attached to your laptop directly, or it should be there at least in the same data center, in the same
Correct.
location.
Yeah.
So similarly, this will be accessible, right? This is a SAN drive which will be there in the same data center. So it should be kept in the same data center, in the same availability zone where your server is running. You put this hard disk there itself. So
Yes.
you have to choose 1B. If it is running in 1B, you have to choose 1B. Then you
Got
just
it.
give some tag and just click on create volume. You see this volume has been created. It's getting created. Quickly it is getting created. Now, meanwhile, I'll go to snapshots and I saw that my snapshot has been created.
Can you
Okay.
please go back again, sir?
So I'll go to volume. My volume is also created.
Okay.
Now tell me, any issue in understanding how we can create a volume or how we can create a snapshot, or where we should create the volume? Now you see here, this particular volume which is in green, it says in use. This is in AP South 1B. Something which is in blue, that is also in AP South 1B, right? So you just see here, this Red Hat Linux, this is my 10 GB root volume that was created in AP South 1B. The new one that we have created in the same region, right?
Correct.
Same availability zone, right?
Yes.
So now it can be attached to my instance also. Got it? Now this volume can be attached to my instance as well, right? So that we will see in the next practical. So now for now, what you do, this 1G that you have created, no, it's selected. Click on action, all of you. For this you create snapshot. It will happen quickly. So
Yes, actually, I have selected availability zone AP South 1B. Okay. And then select snapshot ID. I have to select something.
No. Why is snapshot ID you have to select? You are creating a volume.
Okay.
That is a fresh volume you are creating. You want snapshot ID for that? Snapshot
so
ID means some snapshot which is created by somebody else. From that you want to create a volume. That you don't want, right? So you just have to create a fresh new one.
AZ cannot be changed later if I by mistake I have changed, got it created the volume in a wrong AZ. Can it be changed later?
No.
It
That
cannot
be
right?
changed.
I have to delete it. I did the wrong one.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct.
Snapshot ID will be blank. Encryption will be blank. Now we will click on add tag.
Tag. You put
name.
a tag.
Yeah.
Tag.
And then click create volume.
Yes.
Right. So volume I have created successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of you should have one volume. We are doing practical for that, right? Please create one GB volume. All of you.
I have done that one. 1 GB is created. Now my current volume will be 9 GB.
You just see here in the volume section, you have that 1 GB volume.
Yes, I have. It's getting created now. It's
Just
so like creating. It's creating. It's moving like a circular way.
Okay. So just refresh and see. Yeah.
Now it's created. It's showing available to me.
Okay, good. So all of you got it? Shweta, you got it?
So Harish, one doubt is there.
Tell me.
1G Linux is there. That size is 1 GB. Now what the size we have, because earlier we had 10 GB of a size for Linux RHEL. Now if we talk about 1G Linux, the size we have given as a 1 gigabyte, right? So now the left volume will be 9 GB, right?
Left volume will be 9 GB means what? I didn't get your point.
Actually, what I want to ask is, look, earlier we had 10 GB of space in our when we are creating instances, Linux RHEL instance. When we created, we had 10 GB of like volume, right?
Oh, you are talking from the 30 GB free tier perspective.
Yes, that we have already removed, right? For Windows, like maximum capacity is 30 GB, as you.
So you are talking from that aspect. How many are left for us?
Not now, not for that perspective. My question is like we had created 10 GB space. Okay, what I means how can I? Okay, let me take it clearly now. We have created Linux Red Hat. Okay, we have given 10 GB of space. Like volume, we had selected by default on free tier. It's 10 GB, right?
That is a 10 GB hard disk. That is a 10 GB volume.
That 10 GB volume
we have taken.
Yes, we have taken. Okay. Now next. 1 GB of size we have taken out. So I just want
what to know you are talking. No, you are getting totally confused here. Wait, you have not taken 1 GB out of that 10 GB. This is a new hard disk that you have purchased.
This is new hard disk I have purchased.
Okay. You don't see that this is you have created one volume here, new volume. When you click on create, what you are trying to do? You are creating a new volume.
Okay, see, it's 1 GB, 100 GB size is there. Okay.
Your system is having 110 GB of hard disk. Now you purchased one more 1 GB of hard disk. You can purchase 100 GB of hard disk.
Okay.
Simply you have taken 1 GB of one hard disk.
Extra hard disk. Okay.
That's it. Okay. As simple as that.
Okay. The size will be 10 GB the way it was earlier.
You create, see, this 10 GB was
got it.
From the AMI because that was having the operating system, right? So we just took that root volume 10 GB. Now I created another 1 GB. I need additional hard disk.
Got it.
The system can have multiple hard disks, right?
Yes. Got it, Haris. Got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, Shweta, you got that 1 GB volume, additional volume
yes,
created?
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who else has created it? Santosh and
Krishna. Yes, I created.
You have created, right? 1 GB volume?
Created.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you select that 1 GB volume, all of you, please.
Done.
Now, go to action.
Okay.
Click on create snapshot.
Okay.
See, some description you have to put. So, this is like 1G snap, add tag, name, you say 1G hyphen snap. I say create snapshot. I say close. Now I go to snapshots and I have 1G snap created here. Do you see this? All of you got it?
Yes.
So I had created earlier this for root volume that I am deleting it. I will run out of my storage limit. So I don't want that as of now. I have deleted it. So you saw how I deleted. Simply selected here. I clicked on delete and deleted. Now everything is similar in my machine, in my console and your console. Everything is same. I have one volume of 10 GB that came by default with the AMI that we are having, and 1 GB of volume that we have just created. The only thing is this is blue, this is green. Now snapshot. I have 1 GB snapshot. You also have it, right? Please confirm.
Let me check. Yeah. 1G snap 1 GB. Yeah. Completed.
1G, 10G, and 30G. I don't know why I have 3.
No. You have to check on the
30 GB snapshot also.
Yes, sir.
Can you click on volumes first?
हाँ volume पे ही हूँ.
Volume पे या snapshot?
Volume पे.
In the volume section, you are having 1G, 10G, and 30G also. You are going to incur cost. You didn't delete your Windows volume.
Oh my God.
Lag jayega paisa.
I think after you created that 10 GB Linux machine, right? It went
lag gaya hoga paisa sir.
Ahead of a free tier, and now okay, nothing much. you'll see.
क्या करूँ, डिटैच करूँ, डिलीट करूँ, क्या करूँ?
It's stuck now.
Oh my God, मेरा
कितना सर कितना लग गया होगा पैसा अभी इस पे?
Okay. Okay.
ट्रेनिंग इतना तो नहीं लगा ना?
A little bit only. It won't be
So-
much. That GP2.
100-200 तक में हो जाएगा.
डिलीट करूँ, क्या करूँ सर, जल्दी
Okay.
बताओ.
Okay. So in the EC2 dashboard, you are having that Windows EC2 running also.
नहीं सर, रनिंग नहीं है वो.
That is stopped.
वो तो आपने बताया था तो मैं स्टॉप करती थी, ये मुझे नहीं पता कैसे हो गया.
That
टर्मिनेट
means
करना पड़ेगा.
you didn't select that option. I think, Shweta. See, there will be
checkbox
option you
wala na,
talked
sir.
about today, that there is option that we should tick mark when
Yeah,
using
sir.
this
No.
instance. This should be terminated. That when you are terminating instance, that time your volume should be deleted or not. For that we have tick mark. So that tick mark you didn't do.
So I stopped the volume. I have not terminated any volume.
No, your EC2 instance.
EC2 instant की बात कर रही हूँ. I have two EC2 instance. One is in stop state.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the problem. So now what you do, you go to your instances. There you just select the Windows one, not the Linux one. Windows
ठीक है.
one. Go to
Terminate.
options, right? And go to instance state, right? And you choose terminate instance.
Okay, sir.
पैसा बचाना.
अभी मुझे नहीं पता मेरे क्रेडिट कार्ड पे कितने बिल आने वाला है.
No, it
नहीं,
won't-
ज्यादा नहीं लगेगा शायद, 1-2 लाख लगेगा कुछ.
So it won't be much. However, that will be in cents actually. So what happens is beyond that 30 GB, whatever extra is there, right? So for that only you will be paying, right?
Hari is if the instance, that window instance will be like stop condition, then it will be charged.
No,
It will
see,
not charge. No?
understand. No.
Will it
Understand.
run? It will run then charge. No?
Yeah, if you run, then it will be chargeable.
So
right?
suppose that what Sweta has done, she has created one more in Linux Red Hat above than 30 GB of that volume.
Yeah,
That-
so that
so
is the one.
it will be chargeable because she is not using that Windows 2019 instance, but
Yeah.
still it will be chargeable.
See, it's not about the instance. Again, understand that
30 GB
volume,
maximum free tire. Yeah,
you
free
see,
tire. 30 GB.
instance you are getting 750 hours. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, the size of the storage that you are giving in the free tier is
maximum 30 GB.
GP2 volume. Now, above up to 30 GB, you run
It's
it,
free.
you keep it, you do whatever, nothing will be charged. Now, above 30 GB per GB, you will be charged 10 cents.
Hmm.
Okay, 10
Okay,
cents.
okay.
So, say like she used 30 GB, she was having that EC2 for Windows. Now she got 10 GB of Linux last week. So for 1 week, so that will be minimum monthly basis, right? So she got additional 10 into 10 cents. So it will be $1. She will be charged $1. That's it.
70, approx 70 rupees maximum. Not more, Sweta.
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं.
Next week होता तो और थोड़ा ज्यादा हो जाता.
सर मैंने वॉल्यूम से भी हटा दिया सर. इट इज ओनली 1G and 10G नाउ.
Okay.
एंड
So-
इंस्टेंस पे वो टर्मिनेटेड दिख रहा है मुझे.
Okay, good. And volume also you are having only 2. Correct?
हाँ sir. So from next on training onwards ना, you first give everyone a heads up that
I
make
had
sure you
told-
terminate.
No.
Yes,
मैंने
yes,
list किया
yes.
होगा,
Haris
sir.
already
I had told Shweta.
last week.
Yes.
Already told him.
He already told.
Missed it.
Haris already told us.
मैंने लगता है कि वो Amazon का कुछ उधार पूरा किया है. कोई बात
No,
नहीं.
see, this 5, 10 rupees, 20, 100 rupees, up to 100 rupees, no, that will be coming. Usually, for me, it comes every month, some 10, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, some 50 rupees, like that, it will come. So, simply we will be doing something and missing it, then it will come. Otherwise, if we
That's
use
okay,
it
sir.
recently, it will be less. Yeah.
चलो, at least I figured it out at the right
Yes,
time.
yes. Correct. So now that under the volume you have 1G and 10G, under the snapshots, how many you are having?
One.
अभी दो है. 30G वाला हटा देती हूँ. एक 1G.
No. Under snapshots,
Snapshot we have one
अदर
only.
स्नैपशॉट में भी मेरे पास ना 230 का दिख रहा है.
What you are talking?
Yes sir.
Remote
Then
ले
you
लीजिए
will be
sir.
charged a lot actually, Shweta, because
अभी तुरंत किया था ना.
30 GB snapshot you have created, then it will be huge. No?
How do I modify?
Select it,
सीधा
go to action, delete. That's it.
delete.
Select, action, delete. That's it.
सब डिलीट कर दूं दोनों.
No, not 1G.
दोनों नहीं, सिर्फ 30 GB वाला.
नहीं 1G जो मैंने 1G करके भी किया था ना, वो भी 30G में ही वो साइज दिख रहा था मुझे.
No, 1G
मैं
cannot be.
वापस से जलाते हैं, मैं फिर से बना देती हूँ सर. ये मेरे को टेंशन नहीं चाहिए अभी.
Okay, you just remove that all the snapshots and then
अब
you.
मैं एक वॉल्यूम बना रही हूँ मैं. ठीक है, वॉल्यूम सेलेक्ट किया मैंने.
No, don't delete this volume. You should have 2 volumes.
हाँ, वॉल्यूम आई हैव नॉट डिलीटेड. वॉल्यूम तो मेरे पास 2 है अभी.
And snapshots?
स्नैपशॉट दोनों डिलीट करके मैं नया बना रही हूँ.
Okay, so go to volume.
Volume.
Select.
I selected volume. Okay.
Select 1G and then go to this and say create snapshot.
वही हुआ. When I was selecting volume, no,
You
I
selected that.
selected a wrong one. Okay.
Oh my goodness, that will be huge. See, understand
सारी
that this
मिस्टेक्स मैंने
snapshot,
ही करने हैं, पता नहीं क्यों.
Smeta, this
कार्ड
snapshot,
भी कर दो, हो जाएगा.
this snapshot will be counted towards your storage cost.
तो कितने सेकंड के लिए यूज किया होगा सर? इतना तो नहीं मांगेंगे ना मेरे से.
ज़्यादा नहीं आएगा. don't worry.
Per month, per GB per month.
ठीक है, इमीडिएट डिलीट कर दिया था. कुछ आएगा तो देखते हैं.
Okay.
सर आप हंस रहे हो, आप बताओ आपको क्या लगता है कितना आएगा?
अरे
Should
कार्ड
be some. Yeah.
if you disable कार्ड देन तो हो जाएगा ना. कार्ड ही डिसेबल कर देते हैं जो डाला है हमने.
No, usually if you disable, then your account is gone only. You need to have a valid card.
क्योंकि
They are
मेरा
smart
जो
enough, उनके पास वो कार्ड का भी डेटाबेस अपने उन्हीं के पास है.
They already stored, means they already have
नहीं
database
नहीं
of.
मैंने द कार्ड आई यूज्ड टू रजिस्टर, वो कार्ड एक्चुअली 30th को एक्सपायर हो गया. I
हाँ,
got
so
a
your
new card.
account will be
इसीलिए,
disabled.
that's why you are asking this question.
So for that
That's
time
why
your
asking.
account will be disabled if you incur some cost if you don't pay, right? So your account will be disabled. That's it. Nothing else they will do. They will not sue you.
Okay.
But sir,
they
tell
will-
me, around 5 to 10 minutes के लिए वो 30 GB का स्पेस बना हमारे लिए, मतलब वो क्रिएट हुआ स्नैपशॉट. तो उस पे कितना स्टोरेज, मतलब कितना कॉस्ट आता है नॉर्मली?
Usually
per month.
GP2 is per month basis, per GB basis. So based on that rule, it should happen. I'm not sure how much will come, but you can look at the billing. You will come to know.
And sir, under 100 ही आएगा, not much more.
Yeah.
And let all us also know how much.
And
it is.
other thing is like sometimes no, you can request them, right? Just chat with them. They will waive it off. Okay. So this is I'm telling. If you have huge amount, you can request them. They will waive it off, right? But small amounts, if you go, then your lifeline will be gone. So huge amount you incur, they will not waive it off. Every time you cannot go, right? So one time you go, yeah, they will waive it off. Okay, they are good people. So for one of my friend, I just suggested to go, and he went, and he had left it for almost like 6 months or something, that storage, and he had actually his free tier expired. Okay, so after expiration, if you have even 1 GB volume or something, that for that also you will be charged, right? So whatever 30 GB limit is there, that is only for 1 year. After 1 year, that was kept for him maybe 6 months or something. So he incurred some amount.
Okay, in that case, what we have to do is, if this account, which account we are using now, if it crossed 1 year, then it's better to hold it and create a new account if you want to use the free tier.
that only. So he approached, and then they said, okay, fine. So your services, these services, that services running. So he waived off. It was waived off for him, and then he asked to close the account and create a new one. So same account, he said no, you cannot use for free tier, as a free tier. If you want as a free tier, you create another one. So he created another one. So he deleted that account only. So that option also there. You can close account as well, right? So otherwise they will block your account if you don't, if you are a defaulter, if you are not paying, if you are not talking to them, then they will block your account will be of no use. Now, coming back to this point where we have snapshot, all of us have 1G snapshot, right? So in this 1G snapshot, right, we simply we went to that volume and created 1G snapshot, right?
Correct.
So this is how this will also be counted towards the storage, right? So you have this volume, just add this 10 and 111, go to snapshot, add it 12. So total how much storage you are using with respect to EBS? See, EBS is having
12.
volume and snapshot both, right?
Okay, yeah.
How much you are using? 11
12
and 1, 12. Out of 30, that is we are having 12 only I'm using. So I am good.
That's what I want to ask you that time, Harish.
Okay.
Now it's clear to me.
Yeah. Now understand that we are having this option of life cycle manager. There, right? So I'll just show you, right? Just pay attention and try to understand what is data lifecycle manager. So it says create snapshot lifecycle policy. I click on that, right? It says description, right? And you have, it's hung, something is hung here. Okay. Okay. So this is life cycle of my 1G volume life cycle. So this I am creating this life cycle for my 1G volume, right? Target with this tags, this policy will be applied to EBS volumes with any of the following tags. Now you have to see that you have name and for what?
FSSG.
What was the name?
Okay, 1G snap, I guess.
1G Linux volume.
Okay. It's volume. Yeah. Okay. We're talking about volume. Fine.
Yeah. So here we are looking at the volume. So this policy will be applied to EBS volumes with any of the following tags. So wherever you have the tags, you see, do we have any other option here? No, right? Only tag option is there, right? So when we talk about the lifecycle policy, whenever we talk about the tags, so you can appreciate the use of the tags. Based on the tag, you can select the target for that particular volume. Now you have lifecycle policy tag. Okay, so you can simply say name and you can say C1, something you say. Add tag. No, only one is enough for me. So now choose that. It says IAM role. You're familiar with role, right?
Yeah.
So it says this policy needs to be associated with IAM role that has snapshot, create and delete permission. So anything you want to do in AWS that requires authorization, right? Now somehow somebody else, some other system, some other service will be doing it on your behalf. You were going to the volume, you were going to action menu, you were choosing create snapshot and you were creating the snapshot. All those manual process you are doing only after you have logged into the console, you are authorized, you are authenticated, then only you are doing all those things. Now on your behalf, somebody else, right, some other mechanism will be doing it. It will be taking the snapshot. For that you are creating a policy. So you have to define a role that has snapshot, create and delete permission, right? If you are unsure what IAM role to use, select AWS default role or something. So you simply choose default role. It says if EBS default role is not present, one will be automatically created with all the needed permission. So it says view the default role. Just keep your mouse here, try to understand based on whatever skills that you learn, right? Try to relate the same thing. What happens here? It says action is this, right? EC2 create snapshot, delete snapshot, describe volumes, all those options. If it is there, then only it can create. What is the action? If you just go, okay, so we'll open in a new one. Click on this. Okay, we'll create and then we'll see. Now, it's not coming, showing the entire thing. Showing, right? Almost. Effect is allow, correct? EC to create tags. So a lot of actions, right, are there. Now you just go to policy schedule 1. Just say like schedule 1 only. I'm not getting into it. Frequency you see daily. You want it weekly. You want it on every say like Sunday. You want it at say like 1 a.m. UTC. Retention you want based on age. You see here the time period for which you would like to keep the snapshot. The snapshot will be deleted after this much of time. Say like I say 30. And what is that? Days, right? Not week or month or something. So I want 30 days after creation. So you have the flexibility to create a policy, right? You can choose the volume, you can choose the schedule, right? For automating the creation and deletion of your snapshot. So
it will automatically, Harish, it will automatically delete on 30th of,
yeah.
okay, after 1 a.m. Okay, got it.
It will create every week. See, it will create every
Weekly,
week
yes.
on Sunday, 1 a.m. And then after 30 days, it will delete the older one. Got it?
Okay.
So, here, the good thing is, see, who will remember to take backup every time, right? You will forget, no? So, your data will be lost. So, you just automate it. Let it take every week based on your need and let it keep for 30 days and then let it be deleted. So tagging information is optional. Tag created EBS snapshot, copy tags from volumes, all those options are there. Then you have this fast snapshot restore. So this is one option you have to pay extra when you try to retrieve the volume from the snapshot that you are creating, right? So that will be faster. So just try to, whenever you get a chance, just try to go to this page and try to, you know, no need to schedule. Just try to look at this, learn more, just try to understand, right? What is that? Here you just try to do a right click, just try to look at it. You have various different policy schedules as well for different things. You can just see, look at the summary, whatever you have done. So it says the policy will create a snapshot following one schedule, schedule 1, Sunday starting at 1, and then snapshot will be retained for 29 days. 30th day it will be deleted. So 29 days it will be retained. You can change things based on your requirement, but the main thing to understand here is this is a life cycle policy that you can create to automate, right, the snapshot taking process. You simply have to click on create policy and it will get created. Understood?
Yes.
Snapshot life cycle policy, you understood? So this is how it is. I'm not creating it. I just gave you a demo of it, right? So another important thing. So probably I'm not sure if Shweta was asking about that, but maybe that one. So if I teach that, maybe Shweta can relate, right? So another thing is, right, AMI. So hopefully she was asking this.
So when you go to that snapshot creation, no sir,
Yeah.
there is an option of volume and EC2. Okay, you can select volume or you can select EC2.
Correct,
Right.
correct. So if
So
you have
my-
multiple volumes, Shweta, say like I have chosen only one volume by going to volume, right? So say like if you have 2 hard disks, 3 hard disks, so many hard disks associated with your server, if you want to take snapshot of all of them, so that is the option. Understood?
No, I did not. If you could go to that
Okay.
snapshot,
Okay, okay. Okay.
Let me just clarify on that.
Sure.
If you
So
go there and you select snapshot,
Snapshot.
create snapshot pe jaake,
Okay.
create snapshot,
hmm.
and if I select EC instance, that means it will
Yes.
give me all the EC2s available, right?
Instances that you are
Ha,
having,
ha.
you choose the instance, right? Then what will happen? As of now, only one volume is there, right?
तो इससे associated जितने भी volume है वो सबका
Yes.
snapshot लेगा क्या?
Yes, you got it.
Okay, यही question था मेरा, when I don't have to go ahead and
So
and
that
then
time you were going in that, when we were discussing snapshot, you were clicking on this snapshot and create snapshot. You are
That's
moving
what I was
ahead of things actually. So that is the
okay. It will create, so every volume that is attached
Yes.
to that snapshot, it will create.
Yes,
and
Shweta,
then
I'll show you.
delete that, terminate that,
I'll show you that.
snapshot. Okay.
I'll show you. You just go to volume now.
Huh.
Let's
Okay.
do that step as well. So go to volume here. You have that 1G, right?
Just a second.
Yeah.
Volume.
Best
Yes.
way is a practical thing, right? So
Uh-huh.
just select that 1G.
Okay.
Now, under that 1G, you have the action. What are the options?
Modify,
Attach.
create. Okay. Huh.
Attach volume, right? Click on that. What does it say?
Which instance you want to attach to it?
Yes. So you have only one, right? I think.
Hmm.
One only, right? Select it. Now, what is the name of the device? Some SDA was there earlier, XVDA it was showing. Here it is, SDF is coming by default. Don't touch anything. Simply just keep it as it is and click on attach. You see here it is saying newer Linux kernels may rename your devices to XVDF, like that. You see, like that only it will do, but it doesn't matter to us. Whatever name is there, it will be visible there. Simply without touching anything, simply click on attach.
Okay.
Now you see that blue became green.
Yes, it's still thinking, but it is.
Yeah, it's coming up. So it got, now it says in use, right? Earlier it was saying blue and it was showing available. Now it says in use. That means this particular volume is attached to your EC2 instance. Now you go to snapshot. Now you click on create snapshot. Now you choose instance. Now you choose instance ID. You see how many volumes came now? Happy? Now. So it is all volumes, right? You see both the volumes.
Two volumes, yeah.
Shweta is there or speaking in mute?
I am there, sir, but I'll be on mute. My baby is crying a lot. Just a
Okay,
second.
please, yeah. So you just see here, Shweta, we chose instance. We have selected instance ID. It says all volumes. If you want, you can exclude the root volume. That option also there. As soon as I click on exclude root volume, see my root volume has been excluded. It has become gray. Right now, if I select, so I can have 10 volumes here attached to my instance. All will be visible here. Right? You have option copy tags from volumes. So if you just click this, all the tags would be copied here. Otherwise, you can add a new tag and simply say name. Right, and you can say volume, right, and simply you can say create snapshot.
What does?
Tell me.
Can you go back, please?
I don't know. We can come back again to this. I have to close.
Okay.
See, it will create only, no option. Tell me. I remember the option. Tell me.
Actually, I forgot that. What was exclude? You have done some
exclude root
right?
Volume, right?
Right.
Exclude
Right.
root
So
volume means.
What does it does?
Yeah. So actually, that exclude root volume means, what is root volume? You know, right?
Yeah.
What is root volume?
Which one? That.
That 10 GB. See, when you are installing one instance, a new instance you are creating, that time one volume will be attached to it, right? By default?
Yes.
In that operating system will be there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that system, that instance will boot using that particular volume. That volume is called root volume. Understood?
Okay.
What
Okay.
will be
Yeah.
there in root volume? The operating system, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, you, apart from your operating system, say like you have your laptop, in that you have one hard disk which is C drive, correct?
Correct.
C drive is having operating system only, okay? Now,
Yeah. Yes.
you have two more hard disks attached to your laptop, which is D drive and E drive, okay?
Yeah.
Now, you want to take a backup, you can take a backup of C, D and E all, otherwise, you just want backup of your D drive and E drive. C drive you can install from operating system CD, DVD, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you want a
Okay.
backup for C drive also?
Yes.
If you want, you take entire backup. Otherwise, you only take backup for D and E drive. That option
Okay.
it is giving to you.
Yes. Yes. Got it.
You went there, you just chose the instance ID, you gave some description, and you say exclude
Whether
root
you want to
volume.
take,
So this becomes grayed out.
yeah. Means it is not in
It
action
will not be
anymore.
taken.
It is not in action anymore.
Now,
If you do
if
exclude.
you remove this C drive
It will be
also,
accepted.
backup you can take, like that only it is.
Got
Understood?
it, Haris. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Now, yeah, welcome. So now under the snapshot, you see here what happened, Shweta.
Created volumes. Yeah.
Shweta, what happened when I chose instance? We got both the volumes. When we selected instance, whatever
there, Haris.
volumes was, she will be listening. Her kid is.
No, she is not. I think.
She's in mute actually. So.
No. She disconnected.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. So when she listens to, okay, she is coming. Shweta, you are back. Shweta, you are back.
Yes, sir, I'm back.
Yeah. So after we selected the instance, you see both the volumes of that instance got snapshot. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just removing because 10, 11, 12, and then it will be 12. So I'm just removing all this. So you understood, right? So now I'll delete this, right? So now I'm having only one. Okay, so if you choose instance, so whatever instance volumes will be there, all will be created. So you understood, right? Now, see, we have attached this instance, right, to our machine, correct?
Yep.
To EC2 instance. Shall we see it? Shall we go and see whether it is there or not?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So now that we are having two volumes, one is 10 GB, one is 1 GB. Let's go and look at it. You all are connected. So you see, I have the output from the previous output, fdisk-l output I am having. You see this output here. Just pay your attention. When I say fdisk-l, how many disks are there?
One.
Only one, right?
Yes, one.
10 GB, right?
Yeah.
Now that disk partitions are there, so just leave it. Disk, how many are there?
Only one.
Right. So when I say like this and say pipe, grep, right? And I say caret disk, it says what? 10 GB and 1 GB also came now.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So
Additional
earlier
one.
I had only one. Now I simply say fdisk-l. So I got how many? One is 10 GB and another one is
1
1
GB.
GB. This is the same 1 GB that we were attaching as of now. That came as XVDF. Got it? How do you access it? How can you access it? By creating a file system in that. Correct? No? Hello?
Yeah.
So you all know how to create a file system in the disk. This is something additional. You want to know?
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Please.
Okay. So just pay your attention. So I'll be showing you. See how we do fdisk. you just do fdisk and then whatever is the name of the disk that you have purchased and connected to your system, whether it is local laptop, Linux machine, or EC2 instance, or wherever. So we just do fdisk and name of the device. So this is the hard disk device that we have connected, right, to our system. Already we have attached it. So now it is connected to my machine. Now I'm doing fdisk, pressing enter. You see what it says. So this is a fdisk as a utility for Linux, right? And now you have options. M for help. So this will help you out. Just press M and it will show you all these options, right? So you can seek help here. With M, you can see all those choices. You see N somewhere? N for new. Not visible.
N
for new. See, if you press N, see what happens.
Primary partition, extended partition.
partitions type. It is
Primary extended.
So I just want to create a primary partition, right? I just want to give some number, say like 1. Okay, 1 to 4. Default is 1, right? So without giving anything, if I just press enter, what will happen? It will take 1. Now, first sector 2048, right? By default, press enter. The last sector by default, whatever, press enter. Nothing I have done. Simply I have chosen N and enter, 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 right? And then what happened here? I have to save and quit. So W is to save and quit. So as I press W, it says partition table has been altered, calling this IOCTL partition table syncing disk. So this is what happened when so you can also do it. Please do it. You see, add a new partition option under generic. So, understood? Just do that. Just do fdisk-l to see. Then you do, I'll just show you the history. So you have done fdisk-l to see. Then you do this command. fdisk/dev/ whatever is the name of your disk. Right, you go there, you press N, right, and then what? You press N, and then you press enter, 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 enter. W will come out. Yeah.
Then you have to press P, right?
Yeah, W N. Then for primary, by default it's P. No need. Simply press enter. That is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enter, enter, enter. W at the end. Save and come out. All of you done? Please confirm once you are done.
Has been altered. Okay. Yeah, done.
Everyone?
Yeah, Harish, done.
E needs to be done, right?
P is by default. Either
E
you can
also by
type or
default only. No need to do.
you just press enter. It will take out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did miss what I need to type in.
Simply you have to do fdisk, and then you just have to say name of the disk. What is your disk? Did you try fdisk-l?
I'll see.
Just see fdisk-l. You should have your 1 GB disk here. Name, path of your disk.
Yeah,
Probably the same thing.
yeah, same.
Okay. So just say fdisk, whatever is the hard disk. So that's why I'm not asking you to make it fixed. Just you should know how to look for a disk. Say like one more you add, one more you add. So name will be different, right? So just have to create a volume. You have to attach that volume to your EC2 instance. Then you have to come to the system, to the instance, and there you have to say fdisk and name of the disk. Simply you press enter, right? Just say new, right? I'll just say I'll just see. So for me, it is there. So for you, it is just press N. Press M for help if you want. So you have N for adding a new partition. So press N and then follow the steps. So I have my partition table already. With P, I can see it's showing me. Okay, 1 GB is 1023 MB, almost 1024 in place of that. Right? So done, everyone? With W, you have to come. I have come with Q, you come with W. I will rewrite and come, save it. Manit Shweta?
So what it does, Harish, it created the partition that of that new
Yeah, correct. Just I made it useful that disk was there, no hard disk, new hard disk. So I just created a primary partition out of that. The entire volume I used as a one partition.
Okay.
Yeah. Now what I will do, that became a standalone partition of 1 GB. Now I'll just make a file system out of it. I'll just say like mkfs dot whatever options I am having. So I have some file system ext2, ext3, ext4.
It's
Yes.
asked
Yeah.
when I click E, it is asking me partition number 1 to 4 default L.
Yeah. You just default is 1, right?
1. Yes.
Enter.
Just enter. Okay. First
Now what?
sector.
Enter.
Enter. Okay.
Hmm.
Last sector.
Enter.
Okay.
Then
M for help.
okay. Then you press W.
W. Okay.
And you will be on the command line now. Correct?
HTML/. Correct.
Now you do fdisk -L. So you will see that this also came now. See, your disk was there. Now you got a dev xvdf1. This is the partition. This is a partition where we will be creating a file system. So we have a lot of options for creating a file system. So what we will do, ext. What is the command for making a file system? mkfs dot ext4 we will do. Very small, right? So ext4 should be okay. Okay. Just create. You want XFS? We can create XFS. See, you have XFS file system option also. You know XFS file system? That is the default after RHEL7 came, no? That XFS file system is by default. So if it crashes, no file system, it will recover very quickly, right? So this has very good features. XFS file system. You can use this file system XFS. Now you have to put it in this particular what? Partition. You have to put the file system there. See how quick it was, only 1 GB, right? Now what you can do? Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes,
So
sir,
we'll do
please.
this
Yeah.
and then we'll wind up. Quickly you do it.
Please do go up little. I just want to see the command.
Nothing I did. I just did mkfs.
XFS. Okay.
That's it.
And then repath.
So you can create ext4, then you
Sir,
have to say
Harish.
here ext4. Yeah. Tell me, Rahul.
I just want to ask one question.
Tell me.
I have one question now. We can't go to the instance of Linux the way we done RTP for Windows Server 2009 and 2019, and we went inside to the Windows Server 2019. So
You're talking about the console of the server?
Yes, I'm talking about.
No, console access you are not having. Console access is not there. You can connect like this.
Okay, because I want to access that Linux on this thing.
Terminal, that console.
Terminal,
Console
yeah.
you will not get. See, if console was there, then I could have helped Karthik then and there, right?
So means whatever we will do from here itself, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Command line.
The way we went inside the Windows 2019 while doing RDP, and then we have done the required things, whatever.
With
Okay,
RDP, you had taken the
Mhm.
the console,
Administrator,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
here you cannot take the console. Here you can connect like this, or you can use that CLI you were doing for S3, right? So like that, some CLI commands you can run if you install CLI in your local machine, right?
Mhm.
Or you can use some kind of other session manager or some other options are there. But that console you are not having. Console access they are not giving. That is out of your scope.
Okay.
No
Means
control over that. Yeah.
Okay, if we can, in terms of our organization, if we select Linux RHEL server, then we don't have login to, means we don't have like access to console. We have to
In
simply
our
work
system,
like that.
in our private, in our office, in our on-premises, we have access to our console also, right? See, in our organization, we are having access to our console also, correct? See, you may have,
Correct.
if it is a VM, you can go to your VMware, that vCenter, and there you can get the console of your VM, right? So if you forget the password, if you have some issue, if you just did a misconfiguration.
I can see the interface of my console.
Yeah, you can restart from there. You can shut down your machine. You can start your machine. You can do a lot of things, right? But here, from the AWS console, EC2 dashboard, you can start, stop. You can do all those things. But accessing, getting the terminal, getting the entire remote control of your machine, that will not happen directly. That option you are not having. That's why I told you the workaround for detaching the volume to the new instance. Now how we attach the volume, right? So like that we can detach the volume, right? Just similar to that, and we can connect it to another one. We can attach to another one, so that you can try.
Okay.
Now you just show me, just tell me, this one everyone done? File system.
Yes, yes, done.
Okay. So now you want to know how to mount this file system?
Yes, please. Mount, I think command is mount, right?
Yeah. So just say like mount. What? Mount what? What do you want to mount?
Dev class, yeah.
Dev xbd
Where you want to
F1.
mount? So you have to create a location where you want to mount. By default, MNT will be there. So I'll just try to mount on MNT, right? So I'll just go to MNT. I'll do ls-l. So this is my file system now. So if I say mount command, so in that mount command, I can see this F1 on/MNT, type is XFS. It is mounted, right? If I see df-ht command, right? So here I see my file system. This xdf1 is mounted in /MNT. If I say like touch ebs1.txt and do ls-fnl, I have my file here, right? I can simply say like cat something to that file, like this. We can cat echo, we can do, no? Echo. This we can do.
Harish, I want to ask you one thing, because I want to do some practices in Linux. So whatever command I will run in this terminal, means in this putty, by connecting to my instance. So it will run. Because I can't go to my terminal, because as you told that you don't have access to console because AWS doesn't provide that. So whatever command I will run here, it will be it will give the output on my this screen only, right?
See, terminal, that console is only for emergency, when your system is unreachable, when system is hung, your system is, you cannot SSH to your system, you cannot take up, remote session of your system, who will log into server console every day and why?
Right.
This is the way to work
So for doing
on
that,
servers.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
this is the default way of Rahul or working on server. Whatever command you want to run, everything you just connect using PuTTY and you are running, that is running on the same server EC2 instance only. Correct?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
now this is full-fledged access to your machine. As root, you are accessing your machine. You want to run any machine, anything. Everything will be run here. Nothing else. Everything. Got it? Now.
Yeah, yes, got it now.
So you have that ebs.txt, whatever volume we have put, that file is there. So if I just go back, if
I got it now, Haris. I got it now.
Yeah, just I say you mount /mnt, right? If I say ls-l/mnt, what is there in that now? EFS.
EFS is there, yeah.
You know what happened actually? I mounted that particular EBS volume on top of that, whatever was mounted on /mnt, and that was EFS. You remember last time we also created EFS and mounted on /mnt only?
Yeah, last week, no?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, I have done. I have seen.
We mounted in /mnt, so that EFS has come under /mnt.
Right.
Correct, no?
Okay,
So
okay.
we were mounting this on top of it. So better we create a fresh directory mkdir/ebs, right? EBS1, and then whatever we were mounting, so we will mount that file system, whatever file system was there, on EBS1 only. Now we'll do cd to EBS1 and we'll do ls-l. So our file is there. Correct, no? So whatever file we had created, that file is still there in that particular disk. Now the only difference is we have mounted it on EBS1. Now, if you say df-h, you see this xvdf1 got mounted on EBS1 now this time, right? So if you just see, to go to /mnt, you see your EFS there. You see FS1. Nothing is there in that. Okay, so under MNT, under EFS, under FS1, we have another something mounted, right? And here it is shown. You see here, file system EFS AP South 1 Amazon AWS.com NFS version 4, right? It is mounted under MNT EFS FS1. From where it is coming?
FS1.
We created that EFS last time, right? That's what it is. So EFS.txt. So in that EFS.txt, you just echo EFS file and then do a greater than EFS.txt, right? And then you do a cat EFS.txt EFS file. That this is a file.
EFS.txt. We'll see the content.
Correct. So if you see everything, just you do df-ht. So what all file systems you see here? See, xvda2, that is XFS, 10 GB, that is the root volume. You can relate to it?
Yeah.
Now, the next one, dev xvdf1, that we attached 1 GB. This is the one mounted on EBS1.
1017 M it's showing.
Correct. So using the mount command, we have mounted. Using umount, we unmounted, right?
Unmounted, yeah.
Now, if you look at this EFS.txt, this file system. You see here this path, EFS AP South 1 Amazon AWS. This is the slash. This is NFS version 4. This is mounted on MNT EFS FS1. You see? So ls-l that one, if you do, that got a file. What is this file system? This is EFS. Understood? This MNT EFS FS1 is EFS. We created while launching our machine, no? EFS file system. Shared file system.
Yeah, got it.
And we had created security group
Last
for
week we have
allowing the
created.
NFS. Correct, no, Rahul?
Yeah. Last week we have done. Na?
Yeah. So
All
you
this
can-
we are seeing. All these things we are seeing here now.
you can unmount it.
Mhm.
Once you unmount, and if you just do up arrow 2 times, LSFNL, nothing is there. You just mount it. Just mount it. And then you see LSFNL, it got the file, no? See
Yeah,
here,
total
nothing
4
was there. After I mounted, right, I have the
Total
file.
4. Yeah, total 4 numbers.
Correct?
Yeah, yes.
So in that, if I say cat, and like this, if I say EFS, so I have the content also. So this is mounting and unmounting of EFS file system. And you just see this one, FS F4 CFA 825 EFS. Just take a look here, and then you go to that dashboard, right? AWS dashboard, and you try to relate. When you get a chance, you had created EFS. You must have forgotten that we did last week. If you just go there, here you see your EFS. You look at this number.
It is exactly the same which was visible there on the car.
FS F4 CFA 825.
Is the same only. Yeah.
See? Same, no? So the
Yeah.
same thing, whatever it is here, that has come there. So we did it while installing the operating system. If you do it later, then how you can attach? You have the option to attach. You just have to click here on attach, and it will say mount via DNS. You have the command using the NFS client, mount -t NFS4-o NFS version 4.1, like this. This is the command, right? You just see here FS F2825 this EFS, and here it is written simply EFS. We have given a path /MNT/CFS/FS1 something. We have given a path. This is the mount point. But what needs to be mounted is this. Now, if you just see that, you can also see it here in etc FS tab. FS tab is used for that purpose only. You see this FS tab, this Linux one, right? I'll just do cat one more time. I'll just clear. I'll do it one more time. You just see FS tab. You see this FS? You see this? Same now?
Yeah.
So this one, from where it is coming? These all options, right? So this is coming from here only. They are guiding us here. Sudo, they are telling, they are thinking we are not root. They are already root. So from here you have to take the command. You have to take this and mount it. If you don't make an entry in FS tab, for us, we have got entry in FS tab because we have selected that EFS before we started our machine. So while we were doing that EFS, you saw some couple of commands I had told you to note it down.
That history.
Here somewhere, EFS or NFS, NFS.txt. See, you see this?
Yeah.
Yum
last
install. Yeah, last time. So NFS-utils, and then I was telling just make some point, and on that point you can mount it. So you can just make mkdir, and then whatever it is showing no here, this one, same command you have to run till this you have to take, and then in place of this EFS, whatever they have mentioned, in that place you just mention what? This one. Whatever
Yes,
mount
mount
point you are
point.
creating directory, you are creating that local directory on which you want to mount, that you have to mention. Simply put this much and then mention that directory. It will get mounted on that directory. However, if you are not installing that EFS in the very beginning, then this nfs-utils package will not be there, and then this mount command, whatever you are doing, that will not work. So you require nfs-utils package. Which package you require? nfs-utils. You see here, you know how to check that. nfs-utils. See, this is installed, right? So here it is installed. If it is not installed, how will you install? Yum install
that package name.
nfs-utils.
Utils.
Simply it will go and install. Right? It says dependency resolve, nothing to do, complete. It is already installed. So for me, it is already installed. If it is not installed, it will get installed. Then you can run that command. You can make an entry in fstab file, right? And then you can make it automatic. Got it?
So fine.
Okay, we are good for today.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, so perfect. Now I can unmount this. Mount is the command, and EBS1 I have unmounted. Now I see with the mount command, I have this file system mounted and nothing else apart from that. So I can just do a Control D. So I came out of that, right? And we are good, I think. Okay, so what we can do, we can stop it. Yeah, tell me please.
Yeah, EC2 instance you have to stop or terminate?
No. Do not terminate.
Stop.
Yeah, we will need it. So as of now, what we can do, we can. So now if you have additional lot of things or something, you can delete it. Snapshot, if you are having only 1 GB, it's okay. Volume you are having 2, it's okay, right? Doesn't matter.
Up to 30 GB we can occupy. Right?
Yeah.
So it's better to not delete. No?